Thank you very much for joining me for Amazon Sellers Breaking News, where I have the honor of sharing with sellers around the world what we are seeing from our 10,000-foot view, helping thousands of sellers every year, reinstating tens of thousands of listings, and saving tens of thousands of jobs. So today I'm going to get right to the point, right to Amazon Sellers Breaking News for Friday, July 19th, 2019. And at the end of this, I'm going to talk to you again about how sellers' rights are growing around the world. Please stay until the end, okay? Stay to the end about sellers' rights. First breaking news story, new sellers having a harder time than ever. Now, for the last few months, there's been a tremendous problem for new sellers with the KYC, submitting their utility bills, their leases, their bank information. If there was anything that did not match, if you submitted your landlord's utility bill, your account was going down. We're also seeing new sellers having a hard time now with any bump in the road with their initial sales. The ODR rate goes up immediately and Amazon clamps right down. Now, there used to be a time where Amazon was courting sellers all over the United States, and Amazon is still chasing sellers in Shenzhen, China to sell on Amazon, going straight to the factories, straight to the middlemen. But here in the United States, it is getting more and more difficult for new sellers to get on board. If you're starting an account, you got to make sure all your ducks are in a row, all your documents match, get it right the first time. And I really suggest that you get on the on-ramp of selling on Amazon slowly to avoid making mistakes, because Amazon has been less forgiving than ever when it comes to new sellers. Another breaking news story number 2 is Verizon phones. If you're selling 3G phones for the Verizon network, Amazon has added language to your detail page that Verizon is refusing to activate 3G phones unless you're doing a prepaid plan. Now, if you have these phones and you're a seller, you're aware of this change, but I want sellers to know all over the world that if Verizon is doing this, you can bet your bottom dollar that the other carriers are going to follow suit. Okay, so if you're selling phones for AT&T or T-Mobile or whatever Sprint has become, you may want to be careful about how much money you put into those phones right now, or hotspots also, because that line of business may be abruptly coming to an end. So you have to know that the detail changes for Verizon phones have changed, and it may be coming down the road for phones and hotspots for other networks. Third breaking news story, generic products on branded listings. This was a hot source of suspensions a few months ago, and it's now we see it growing and growing from the phone calls and the chats and the emails that we get every day from sellers all over the world. What I'm suggesting to you is that if you receive a notice that you are selling a generic product on a branded listing, or you read in the forums, or you just want to be super careful before we get into Q4, this is what we are suggesting that sellers do. Number 1, get off the listing. Number 2, if your units are at FBA, get them removed. Do a removal order, get them sent back to you, or if it's not financially worthwhile, put in a disposal order. Again, we always recommend you keep your eye on the long-term business profitability, even if it means losing a few bucks on products that may spark a suspension. So generic products on branded listings is again on the uptick in terms of suspensions. Okay, I want to talk to you about a way that we have been successful with suspensions caused by high ODR rates, in particular, order defect rates. Now, we had some failures with our plans of action, and we have taken some of those cases up to the Bezos escalation level. And when the Bezos team responds, they've been indicating that the source is not necessarily a high ODR rate as some other problems. Used, sold as new, inauthentic, or other issues are coming back from the Bezos team. We are then using that information to write a new plan of action back down to seller performance, and we're getting sellers and listings reinstated that way. So I want you to know high ODR is not always simply a high ODR rate. Okay, last breaking news story, and it kind of segues from the ODR story into what I'm going to talk to you about now, which is the Bezos Escalation Team Slow-Down. Now, months passed, and over the last year or so, the Bezos team was always pretty quick to respond. It wasn't always a win. No one is 100% successful successful on Amazon, but they were at least fast and they would indicate to you what was going on. What we started doing, I suggest that you do this around the world, that if you go to the Bezos Escalation Team and you get a response, okay, so often it is slower, okay, but they're becoming a bit more detailed, and then use that detail to go back down to seller performance or a policy team and re-argue your plan of action. We used to go up the food chain, seller performance, policy team, escalation. Now we're seeing success by not only going up the ladder in terms of Amazon's hierarchy, but going back down and making new arguments in a plan of action to seller performance. Now, what I wanted you to stay tuned for is the ever-growing power that sellers have. Sellers' rights are growing around the world. In yesterday's breaking news, I talked about what's going on in India, I talked about what's going on in Europe, and I want to talk to you again about sellers' rights if you are falsely accused of selling counterfeit products. Whether it's a brand or another seller, if you are falsely accused of selling counterfeit products, you may have leverage and you may even have a legal claim under two legal theories: defamation and tortious interference with contract. If you'd like to learn more, go to our website, AmazonSellersLawyer.com, and search baseless counterfeit complaints or false allegation of selling counterfeit. We now have probably close to a dozen articles and videos that you can review for free. Also, here's what I'm going to ask you to do, okay? Here's what I'm going to ask you to do right now, your call to action for watching Amazon Sellers News. Please like and share this video. We put these videos out every single day, every business day, because I want to share the information that we have. Please like it, please share it, and I want you to have a fantastic weekend of selling. I want you to kill it the rest of this summer and gear up for Q4. And thank you very much for watching Amazon Sellers News.